It's time for another Kernel essay. This one is not the narrative structure. This is the story of my thinking, one of my favorite structures. What I'd like you to do is take a look at your quick list again and know that there are so many different ways, of course, to handle how to teach kids to do this. But this is one way that I really like to do. I'm going to share it with you. So look at your quick list and pick out something else on your quick list that is a moment that you consider special. And I'm going to use number 3, which is called my topaz ring. I'm going to share with you how these steps work. So the first thing that you do is you write a sentence telling what happened in that memory. You think about a moment involving that number 3, my topaz ring. So if there's a moment involving that ring that was meaningful, well, here's mine. I lost my topaz ring. Now, let's look at the structure. It's 3 boxes, which appeal to students a lot. I used to think this, but then this happened, so now I think this. And I lost my topaz ring would fit in which box? You can tell it fits in the second box. So if you wrote a sentence about something that happened, then you would write that sentence in your second box, and it would look like, see below 1, 2, 3, you wrote sentence number 2. And now the fun part is, what would you write for sentences 1 and 3? You have to think about, how did my thinking change before and after that ring got lost? What changed? And you do have to think about it, because there's not a right answer, and there's definitely not only one way that you could answer it. So here's what I wrote. I used to believe that trustworthy people kept their promises, but then I lost a really special topaz ring. And now I think that some promises just can't be kept. You don't know the details here. You don't know who the trustworthy people are that I'm talking about, but you at least know how my thinking changed. And I could add details to make that a great big essay if I wanted to, or a novel. Here's one, 2020. The story of my thinking is the structure again. My Kernel essay, I used to think that I needed to be surrounded by people and activity to be happy. But then 2020 happened. Now I think that being at home, limiting my activities, and hanging out with family is the safest thing to do. You know, 2020. We all remember 2020. And there it is, ready for some listeners to sign off on 1, 2, and 3. And that's a Kernel essay using this structure. You could use this structure for so many different things in a person's life. You could use this structure to tell what happened in a character's life. If you're reading something fictional, you could certainly use it for character analysis. How did they change, and what happened to make them change? So now we have 2 structures in our collection. This is how they all start with first one. We did a memory reflection. Now we're adding the story of my thinking. And let's look at this question. The student's own independence. Are they still needing a teacher to help them at this point? Well, yeah, they are. Are they choosing their own topic? Yes. Are they choosing their structure? Well, no. In both cases so far, I've chosen their structure. As early writers of Kernel essays, the teacher chooses the structure, and pretty soon the students get to choose their own structure. But what about their Kernel essay content? Well, that's completely theirs. How they answered those boxes is up to them. But next, students will be choosing their own structure, and we'll see that autonomy kicking in. The gradual release is about to get released all the way.